important. I'm Brian Baker here at Brian Baker Guitar Studio. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into it. So some of the songs that everyone seems to learn at the beginning when learning the style of, Merle Travis, Chet Atkins, and fingerstyle stuff. Windy and Warm is one of the first ones. Let me just play a little bit of that for you. It's in A minor, and it uses that thumb pattern that you use on just about every song. Now, it's a little bit different between Chet and Merle Travis. We'll explain why in a second here, but let me just play a little bit of Windy and Warm so you can get a feel for what that sounds like, and maybe that'll be a cool song for you to learn. Here we go. Okay, so why this is an important song to learn. All right, Windy and Warm. One of the best things about it for learning fingerstyle guitar is it holds A minor, and most of the whole song is A minor, E minor. Now, all that extra stuff I put in there, like, I embellish that in. That's not part of the Chet Atkins version, okay? So, the thumb pattern you're going to use on this song is between the A string, the D string, the E string, and the D string. So you have, okay? So one thing you could do when you start learning fingerstyle guitar is just practice that pattern over and over and over again, okay? And it holds one chord, so it's not, doesn't move around too much on your left hand. So you can start your, okay, now when you're learning this song, you might be reading your tablature and going, oh, this is taking forever. I'm never going to sound like... But just stick with it. You will. Everyone who you like that plays this style has been there before, so just stick with it. Keep practicing. It takes a little bit of a long time to get the hang of that, but, it's worth it once you get it down. You can play so many different songs with it and have so much fun. Okay? So that's why I think Windy and Warm is a great song to learn. It stays on one chord. You practice your pattern a lot. It doesn't move around too much. The melody's very simple. It's not very complicated. Let's get into another song that everyone seems to learn when they're learning Chet Atkins style. Fingerstyle guitar, Merle Travis style. We'll get into Freight Train. Freight Train is very good to learn. It's in the key of C. So it uses some basic chords that you should probably know if you're at this level now and you're going to start learning how to play more complex things. Also good songs to play are a lot of gospel songs, like, say, example, I'll Fly Away, I've Got a Friend, Saints Go Marching In, very similar to Freight Train. So Freight Train, again, does that bass pattern that we talked about in Windy and Warm. It's a little bit faster, and it uses more chords. So now you got to use practice switching chords while the bass pattern is happening. So that's why this is a good song. Now, this is good as compared to learning something to like Mr. Sandman. That moves around the whole neck. So you don't want something like this when you're starting, You want something that's up here and just uses your open chords. And then you move down to Sandman down here. Okay, so it uses the bass pattern, but now it's got, your C chord, your third finger's moving back and forth with the bass. And you're changing chords a little bit, putting a bar chord. And also the melody is very simple. That's another really great song to practice when you're learning this style. Now, the last song I'm going to talk about does move around a little bit, and it's Cannonball Rag. Now, Cannonball Rag's another really good one. That's Merle Travis now. This looks complicated, but it's really not that bad. It uses 4 chords. E7 here, you'll learn a new way to do E7, A7, D7 or D9, and back to G. Now, if you want to play it like Merle Travis, the difference between Merle and Chet a lot of times is the bass pattern. And now, if you notice here, I'm doing 2 strings instead of 3, and my thumb is in play now on the top string. So I'm using the top string and the 3rd string for all my chords. Or maybe this. Okay? And if you wanted to play exactly like Merle Travis, he only used his index finger, not using 2 fingers, but I like to use 2 fingers. That's another good tip, that if you're learning the style, even if you're back to windy and warm, if you're learning windy and warm, you don't have to use all your fingers on your right hand right away. You could use, your first finger. Use your first finger for everything, and then work in with your teacher. Talk about how to work in your other fingers. One thing about, speaking of teachers, this style is complex. And I guess I'll be a little bit biased and say it. I mean, very, very hard to learn this all on your own without a little bit of help. I think probably everybody has. I wouldn't count anybody out. Everyone has had a little bit of help with this stuff, especially when you get into the more difficult stuff. You're only going to get so far on your own without some help, and without someone who's done these songs before. So anyway, I hope this information has helped. I'm Brian Baker. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more finger picking and grinning. Maybe I'll get out of here with, I don't know, which one should I do? I guess we'll do maybe Jingle Bells. It's Christmas. Here we go. Big lick. All right. Take care, everybody. Hopefully this helps. Happy picking.